and welcome to Life After Death and Beyond with myself and Kellee White. Hi, Kellee.
Hi, James. Hi, everybody.
We're looking we looked at the comments as we started here that are in for those who are viewing this, not listening to it, but there are so many comments, and yes, we are looking very forward to tonight's show. We've been looking forward to tonight's show all week.
Yes.
It's a very special show on piercing the veil, which is really, really interesting.
Oh,
especially this time of year. So,
right.
Kellee, go ahead and tell us about what your insights of the veil with that term.
Okay, the term for me means, to me, it's a portal. It's a portal.
It's a portal.
Mm-hmm. That's the way I view this. But it's a really important time, James, because the veil is thin. And that is a reference to the idea that there's space between the physical and the spiritual world. It's thinner than usual. So this is often comes because of a few factors here. And I don't know, maybe you are aware of this, but whenever we hit autumn, it's with the autumn leaves and other natural elements to earth, that it slows down the mind and it slows this busy life down, and it creates this space for a higher consciousness, for the veil to be thin, to be able to see, to be able to hear, to feel more clearly, and to communicate with those around us. And from my experience, I can tell you it has been quite a few days. And as we get closer, for me, it comes through in dreams. Yeah. So pay attention, everybody, to the dreams that you have, because dreams open a portal for other ones. And also another thing for me, James, it brings up, all of a sudden, I'll have a sudden thought of somebody, and boom, they're right there. You know, I'll have a phone call from them, or I'll get some message about them. It's very interesting time with this.
Very connected time.
Very connected time. Yeah. How about for you?
The veil is often, I would say the veil, but I think also we can use many terms. A membrane, right? A membrane.
Oh, yeah.
And the religious, I looked up the veil because I was just curious about the history. And the phrase of piercing the veil is usually derived from the religious and spiritual context, where veil metaphorically refers to the boundary between the temporal and spiritual world. Mm-hmm. This phrase signifies the action of penetrating this boundary to gain a deeper, often transcendent understanding, which means to me, in a way, that our higher self, we are connected more with the higher self, which is exactly what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Your physicalness, the lower self, is really connected more with the higher self, and the higher self comes closer.
Yes.
And we're more, and as we know, in the spirit world, we're very connected to everyone and everything. Mm-hmm. It's not, there's no time there. So it's multi happenings at once, if you will. Mm-hmm. And there will be a tendency that at this time of year, because this exactly, you said things slowing down, people have many more experiences of being within the spiritual world as they're walking. It's so funny because sometimes I'll be walking here in the physical in my house, but I feel like I'm definitely connecting to the spirit world right next to me. I'm right within both.
I had that experience today that you're talking about. Actually.
One in this world, one in the other world.
Yes,
right?
That's how it feels.
That's how it feels. Mm-hmm. And a lot more psychic, much more psychic experiences for everybody. And much more the spirit, they feel so the spirit's closer. I think they're always close. And I think it's just we, the humans, are more apt to be, as we talked about, closer to them in that, like you said, that we're resting the physical, but our spiritual is more aware, if you will.
Well, more aware, because in most of the year we're running, but something happens when we get to this point. I mean, it's not just
equinox, Kellee, the full equinox.
Yes, absolutely.
Slow down.
We start to slow down. When you see the leaves start to fall. It's really an indication to slow down. So many of us will think, oh, it's time to have a nice, pumpkin latte or something. I mean, anything that kind of just slows you down. But in the slowing down, it brings us close. It calms our mind enough that they can come closer in, and we can go we can go out as well.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. When I just finished my trip and my tour in New Jersey, one of the greatest experience I had, meeting lovely people, was driving through the autumn leaves. And I actually stopped at an American Revolutionary Cemetery on the way, and I laid down on the grass. And I just took a notice of all the leaves. And I thought, this is the time in the fall. We slow down. And as the leaves fall, they're leaving lovely, pretty pictures, each leaf. And that's for us to look at ourselves, to slow down and look at the beauty who we are. And then it's now we next for the next generation, for the next time, the next springtime, for the next resurgence, but celebrate what you've been through. It's
I
really,
love that.
really important.
I love that.
And I have here, I just want to read this also. This is what came from this website. It says, from the spiritual realms of the dead nature, it's described as a veil, as it is sometimes as thin as gossamer. And there have been many people that passed over. My friend Debbie Ford, and one of the first things she said to me was, James, I have gossamer wings. And they have like wings. I'm dressed as gossamer. So it's the beauty of that. And they say it's sometimes a thin gossamer and others more of a heavy drape. When it is thin, it is easier for us to be between the realms. And when it is dense, our vision is limited. While a skilled psychic medium can look behind the veil, regardless of the thickness of the veil, most often those with a little understanding of the realm spirit will have experiences when the veil is thin. The veil fluctuates throughout the year, reaching its thinnest points at Halloween, October 31st, and at Beltane, which is on May 1st. Like a tide that ebbs and flows, the veil begins to thicken again after reaching its thickest points at Imbolc on February 1st, and at Lughasna on August 1st. Those are festivals, Celtic festivals. Yeah. So there you go.
Wow. Well, when you were talking about gossamer wings, I had a dream this morning, and I don't ever really dream like this, but the dream was that I don't even know how many, legions and legions and legions of angels were coming onto the planet right now. And I could feel that energy. I could actually feel it.
I had an experience with them, and this is very interesting. I don't think I told this yet. It happened 2 weeks ago when I was in New Jersey, and the lady that helped raise me, her name was Connie. My first book is dedicated to her, and she kind of raised me from 10 years of age and on, in that she was really the mother I never had, and she really believed in me. She helped me believe in myself, and if it wasn't for her, I would be doing this work. She really made me have an awareness of who I am, and that's really, obviously, she was meant to be my path, and she was just the greatest lady. And we used to hang out and philosophize. And she was, 20, 30 years older than I was. Anyway, she passed away age 59, 35 years ago. And her husband, Jack, a good friend of mine as well, but I connected more with Connie. And throughout the years, I never really heard a lot from Connie. And I don't know if she didn't believe in it or it was hard for her to manipulate it, or just didn't hear a lot. And I was in New Jersey. I heard her quite a bit, heard her say, you need to call Jack. You need to call Jack, her husband. And we call each other a lot, but it was just I had to. So I called him. We're playing phone tag 3 or 4 times. I finally got him that Thursday. And it was funny, as Connie was saying the last time, I started seeing her really clearly with her eyes and her smile and feeling her energy even more than ever. And her fingers, these lovely rings she used to wear. And I said, oh, that's Connie. And she was smiling, that warm smile she had. And she said, and called him. I said, well, I will, promise. And I called him that night. It was a Thursday with a nice catch up. And he said, hey, I'm getting along, James. Well, you're 91, but I love you and I love you too, Jack. And then 2 days later, Saturday, his son texted me that he passed away.
Oh my gosh. So she knew and she was letting you know.
Warning me. So then she said to me the other day, thank you, James. Thank you. She's thanking me. Tell my other son. And I said, I will. So I called him, left a message. And then she had a great sense of humor. She goes, well, now that I have that done, now I got to work on you. I'm like, okay, but it'll be some time. She goes, oh, yeah, you have plenty of time. But you'll be my next project.
Oh, my God.
So funny. And she would be the one I would see, because when I was a little boy, I had an operation, a serious operation once in my heart. And it was the youngest child in New York, I guess in New York or the country, to have a cardiac catheterization when I was 9 years old.
God.
Yeah, it went a vein, a line all the way to my heart. And when I woke up, she was there, and it was just the greatest. So I know when I pass over, she'll be one of the very first people I see.
Oh, wow.
Well, a lot of people having this great, incredible connection with spirit right now. Yeah. And it's also becoming more aware of, like I said, their higher self, their spirituality, the expansion. And now is the time to explore the expansion of your spiritual self.
It's an excellent time to explore spiritual everything right now, because this energy is all conducive to raising your vibration and shifting the consciousness.
Shift the consciousness. We're here to shift that consciousness, and it's
Yeah.
pretty. This is the time, and as astrologically, it's a moon
Well,
full. Or
it's
just
an
wasn't
interesting,
new moon.
because so for November 1st, let me just say, we've got Halloween on the 31st, which is really the thinning of the veil. And then we have also November 1st, which November 1st is All Saints Day, which is observing the saints. And then November 1st and 2nd is the
Day of the
Day of
Dead.
the Dead, which celebrates the living memory of the dead. And then November 2nd also is All Souls
Souls
Day.
Day.
It's
Yes.
the day of prayer for the souls of the faithful departed. I mean, so this energy is really something. But on November 1st, we actually have a new moon, and in Vedic astrology, it's in Libra, but it's in the nakshatra called Swati, which is ruled by the god of the wind. And so what it means is scattering like the wind. It emphasizes the power that you have and the freedom that you have. And it's an ideal time to let go to whatever is no longer serving you, but also it brings in a shift of consciousness. So it's everything that we're talking about right now with the shift of consciousness.
And so shifting consciousness.
Mhm.
And remember, everybody, that 70%, not sure the percentages, but say about 70% of the soul's outside the body in these realms all around us, in these spaces and places around us, and then only 30% is here. So now's a really good time to explore these outer realms, these outer spaces and levels, because now is the time, because it's so thin.
And
So,
to realize you're much larger than your body.
yes,
Your energy really expands. This is such an extraordinary time. And I know you're going to be doing a session for everybody tonight to give them a kind of an example of what it's like to connect.
Yes, I'm going to have them connect themselves.
Which will be amazing.
Yeah, and everybody realize that your loved ones are always with you. You say, how can they be with me? It's not a linear space. It's a multi-space. It's a multi-connection space, in that they can be in several places at once in that world. So we can't apply our three-dimensional laws to like a seventh dimension. It doesn't work that way. And the little bit that we know when they come through and try to feed our feeble human brains with things we would understand, because a lot of the descriptions that they use over there, we wouldn't be able to comprehend them in this human level. And one of those are the multi connections where they're in several places at once, and they can be that. Just like right now, we have several bodies, but we're only aware of this physical body. So we don't know how that works. We're in the human shell,
right?
So
right. Well, again,
ways,
people here, they get so limited in their thoughts,
and their thinking, and their thoughts become realized, and thoughts are things. And if they think of limitation, they're going to have limitation. If they think of limitlessness, they'll have limitlessness. And I do that. I open, as you do, Kelly. We open up our minds every day to whatever's going to happen. Let it just be part of that great expansiveness. And magic happens. It's incredible.
Magic does happen. But you know what I've noticed, James, is that slowing down period that we're in, it makes it easier to connect.
Totally.
When you really slow down and you start to pay attention to the energy, and right now that energy, it almost feels thick to me.
Yeah.
It's a
so
wild
should we do a little exercise?
Yeah.
Next?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So everybody, this is just a little exercise. I'm just downloading right now. I've never done it before, so I'm just downloading it on the spot. Thanks. Because they're all ready, of course. And, it's so funny because if I think about it, that's the human getting in the way. So don't think about it. I just kind of like open myself up to whatever comes in, which is the best way to receive. So we know that as we're speaking here and discussing, that there is an expansion of consciousness. So in your mind, just be aware of that expansion of consciousness. And very slowly, we're going to just close our eyes. And as you close your eyes, have that awareness that every single person that's listening to this or watching this right now, their eyes closed, that we are connected. We are a group. And when we come together, this creates a brilliant light around us, all around us, in the fields of energy all around us. So for the group, let's concentrate, because Kelly and I are wearing lovely oranges and golds. Let's do an orange, gold, yellow color that light is. Orange, gold, and yellow. Just paint that in your minds, all around you, as far up as you can. Let that paint go, the colors go. Just let it send it up above you, and then all around you. You can even imagine a paintbrush. And as you have this sense that you really are like a balloon, like a helium balloon, and that your feet are tied to the ground. but the mind wants to travel higher and higher and lighter and lighter. So now allow yourself to release those strings from the earth, and we're going to start floating higher and higher into this beautiful gold, orange, yellow light. And I want you to notice as we begin to travel, notice how thin the veil feels, but how connected you feel to a stream of consciousness, to a stream of life that is always around us, but we never take the time to connect with that prana, that source of light, that divine light, which is all around. So together now, let's release and float higher. And with each breath, as we inhale, we're going to set ourselves up to let ourselves go. And as we exhale out of our mouths, we're going to let go and go higher and higher and higher and higher. So together, let's inhale. And allow yourself to release and exhale like a bubble. Allow yourself just to float higher, a little bit above the body. And you can just listen to the sound of my voice and allow yourself just to surrender to the highest forms of light. And inhale and exhale and go higher and higher and feel the colors now. We're entering the space that directly feel the gold. You can feel that orange yellow color. Nothing we really have on the earth level, but go higher and higher. The higher you get, the more the color. You become one with that color. And inhale and exhale. Higher and higher, higher and higher. Good. And as you soar a little bit higher, like the helium balloon floating up higher and higher, all troubles of the earth are released. Any worries of the earth are no more. And inhale and exhale. And going higher and higher. No more worries, no more tension. And as we go higher into this bright color, we become part of that color. You are that light. You are that gold, orange, yellow light. Feel the characters of that light, the characteristics, the sensations of that light. And as you go higher and higher, and allow yourself to begin to feel and sense forms all around you, in front of you. There's a beautiful group of beings. Just sense them. And inhale. And exhale. We're going higher and higher. And as we go higher and higher, there seems to be this beckoning of this light shining toward us. This beam of light or beams of light that these forms, these beings come to you in. And as you go closer and closer with your mind, you feel a connection with these beings of light, not knowing yet who they may be, but they are here for you. They may be your wise counsel of guides or teachers, loved ones, people that have an interest in you. And inhale and exhale. And soon you find that now you are in a lovely space, a land, if you will, the land of light. And all around you are these lovely, lovely buildings made of gold and light and mother of pearl and marble, shimmering with this light. And these beings coming closer, wearing robes, tunics, wise ones, wise ones. And these are guides and teachers of yours, we find. Look into their eyes, each one, and inhale and exhale. And as you look into each one's eyes, go into their eyes and feel their souls. Feel the connection you have with each one of these beings. Allow yourself to feel your soul. Your soul is connected to the soul. Feel the oneness of the souls. Great. And now we find, inhale one more time. and exhale. And there's a very familiar feeling with these guides, these beings in this lovely land of light. Perhaps there are lovely lakes in the distance, rivers of pearl blues and yellows, and greens shimmering. Everything seems to shimmer. And soon we find that these beings of light bring us to a reception hall, a receiving hall, a space that has been set up just for you, just for you. And as you enter, you see in front of you loved ones who have passed, animals who have passed, and one or two comes close to you, right in front of you, and hug you, and you feel their love multi-dimensionally. You feel them, you know what they're thinking, you sense them, you hear everything, and one at a time, they can hug you. You can just look at them and know what they're thinking telepathically and feel the love from the full group. Feel their love. They come for you. And listen now to a message, a thought, an idea that they bring to you now from the spiritual realms. They've collected from all of the realms with a message that's very important for you at this time in your life for spiritual growth and awareness. Listen now for that message. You'll hear it in your heart. Tick, tock, the ebb and the flow. Love is the greatest source. Love is all we have. Feel the love. Nothing like you've experienced on earth. We are eternal beings. Don't think of your loved ones as the human part of them, but the soul part of them. Feel their souls. Feel their light. They gently and softly take care of you, and they're always around you. Listen now to things, to messages they have for you at this time. And as you hear the messages, they can be very much of a spiritual content. They come now to you and they now tell you, look down at the clothes we have given you. They have put a robe on you, a tunic. Become aware of the color of the tunic. And on that tunic, there's a sash, another color. What color is that? And what color in that sash, what does it represent for you? You can ask them now what that represents for you. Divine Heavenly Parent, we ask a blessing on everyone here in this meeting. Dear spirit friends, draw near to us. Spirit friends, speak clear to us. Spirit friends, slow down your thoughts and your voices. For when we hear, our heart rejoices. Dear spirit friends, draw near to us. Speak clear to us. We are one in love. If you'd like to thank them and give them gratitude for being part of your experience in this space, you can tell them that with your thoughts and realize as you continue to walk in the human world that they tell me to bring this awareness to you, to this truth, to live in this truth, that you, my friends, are never alone. We never walk alone. They walk side by side, step by step, guiding us, assisting us, helping us. Whenever we think we're alone, reinforce we're not alone. And you can ask them to show themselves that in your thoughts and the actions of that moment. So now I'd like for you to send a prayer of gratitude to them yourself. You can use this prayer anytime you want to connect with them. And now we're just going to breathe back and imagine now that this bright, bright yellow light, the sun, that you are the sun, and the sun is slowly going to set back into the earth. But the sun has created flowers that have grown. So together, let's breathe in and out, and slowly descend. Slowly descend. That sunlight slowly down. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly back to earth, gently, softly, gracefully down. One more time. And inhale. And slowly exhale. And firmly, peacefully down back in the physical body with that awareness and that light of your spiritual friends, your guides, your teachers, your family. And slowly open up your eyes and be as one.
Wow, James, I would like to
Slowly, Kelly. Slowly come back.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible.
And so everybody, you can use that on your own. You know, you can do that exercise on your own. You don't have to have me to do that. I gave you those words, and you can do that. And Spirit's always with us to help us and guide us. You know, we in the human world are limited here. You know, we get caught up in everyday things. Is my son going to be okay? Is this job going to work out? Is the relationship? Stop. Just stop. Now is the time to rest, as Kelly spoke about. At this time of the year, it's time to rest, recharge, slow down. Everything will work out the way it's meant to work out. You can't control another person. You can't control an event. All you control is how you react. And that's really what our mission is now in this time of the year. So choose that. Yeah, Kelly?
Yeah. Wow, James, that was really.
What did you experience, Kel?
I experienced, oh my gosh, meeting with my guides. I experienced a white robe and a purple slash.
Any new guides?
No new guides, but what I did see,
energy.
but I saw, as soon as you said, I was already in a white robe before you even said it. And then I saw a purple sash, which I've never seen before. And it was a really great experience between my guides and me. So.
It's funny, lately I've had visions of, I don't know, it's just so weird, of this light white blue, blue describe the color really, and seen for a while, and that was my kind of colors robe, and a gold rope.
Oh, wow. They all mean something. All the colors mean something.
All the colors, the vibration. And the other thing which people should realize is when you pass over in the spirit world, you are energy, and you are all the colors. Your auric fields are all colors. In clairvoyance, we can see many times different colors, shades, if you will, forms of those colors. And depending on what we think, creates the color. Negative thinking creates very black, dark, gray.
Yes.
Colors.
Yes.
A lot of positive thinking is light, pastel, bright, expansive colors. And when you pass in the spirit, we don't talk to each other like this. We see each other with colors. We telepathically connect. And you'll see the character of an individual by their colors. So if someone was on the earth who is very selfish, greedy, they'll have dark colors, and they'll walk by and you'll see them that way. And you'll know the character of their being. Here on this earth, we can hide our thoughts and who we are. Not over there. You're completely naked. You're just exactly who you lived out in the physical world. Can't blame anybody else but yourself, because you have the choices to make.
Well, and Earth is a free will school.
Yeah.
So you can use your free will to create amazing things. There are endless possibilities here.
Limitlessness. Yes.
Yeah.
And this was soft pink. Someone was soft pink, which is love. You know, my interpretation of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incandescent blue green. Yeah. It's hard, everybody, to describe. The colors aren't really colors of the earth sometimes. They're different translucent color, very translucent colors many times too.
No, James, that was really powerful.
Thank you. There's a lady we're going to have on the show. I didn't even tell Kelly this yet. Did I tell you I met this lady? I met this group. I was on my way to someplace, and I was early, and I went to this parking lot of buildings, and it said Spiritual Institute of Metaphysics. I was like, oh,
no, you didn't tell me about this.
This is fascinating. And obviously, spirit always guides you.
Yeah.
That's how I live. I just know that. So it's not me. It's just in that stream of consciousness, of awareness, and I'm the vessel. We all are vessels for spirit. And I looked at this, and they weren't open. But I looked up online, and this lady was clairvoyant since she was 3 years old, seeing colors, all colors. And there are illustrations of the spirit world in the colors that they have. And I looked and said, that's it. Those are the colors. There's only the lovely. So we're going to have that lady. I'm going to try to get her as a guest on our show.
Oh, neat.
She's an aura reader.
Wow.
An aura reader. She'll read people's auras.
Oh, and I love this.
Yeah, so I'll tell you all about it. But yeah, that's moving forward. We'll have that in there.
Oh, I'm excited. It was so interesting. One of our fans said, Sasha Moore said, I also saw a purple sash. Yay.
Purple, very high spiritual color. Yes, very much so. Means you're very psychic, very in tune with your intuitive self, your telepathic self, your spiritual self. Purple. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. And we also have a special guest on tonight.
So we have a special guest here. And Kelly, would you like to introduce our special guest?
We have a wonderful guest, everybody. Her name is Michelle Sample, and she is a publicist. She's a social media expert. She's a PR.
She's the cover of Kelly's book.
Did the cover of my book, which is called Cracked Open, and we won a silver medal for the cover of the book, which was really extraordinary. And she also has done my website. So she's just incredible.
Please welcome Michelle Sample. Michelle,
Michelle, come on in. This is so exciting. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
How was your experience with this? Did you get to do the meditation?
I got to do a little bit of it. I was kind of working in the background, I'll be honest.
You can't stop her. Once you start, you just can't stop.
I've never seen anybody like her energy before. But we're going to be doing a reading for you.
Okay.
Okay. So
is that okay?
I'm down with it.
So Kelly's going to pierce the veil.
I'm going to pierce the veil, and I'm going to start.
How do you work, Kelly? How you get started?
How I work is I start to receive information. It just starts to come down. It's like starts a download for me. And while you were doing the meditation, James, I was having my own experience, but then I was interrupted by your people, Michelle. And that is often how it is, because I was very open and they were knocking on the door. Yes, as a matter of fact, and were very kind and patient, but they were there. And so I'm going to start with.
You're going to start with, and then I will jump in.
And then we're going to demonstrate a double link.
A double link. A double link is in medium A, which is Kelly in this case, to start the connection and the link. And I will work off the information Kelly brings in, communicating with that spirit. And the spirit might tell me different things because my references are different than Kelly's. So they can use different references.
Okay.
So that's how it works. So Kelly, it's all yours.
Exactly. So I'm going to start here.
Pierce the veil, Kelly. Pierce the veil.
I'm going to pierce the veil here. Well, you already started with this. Yes, so you already got me in this.
We're already there. Yeah.
So Michelle, I have 2 animals and I have 3 people. So I'm going to, normally I don't start like this, but I know this is what happened while I was, when James was doing the meditation here. And I want to start with, oh my God, I'm going to start, the most important thing I have is your dog just jumps into my lap. She jumped into my lap while James said animals, and she jumped right on in. And she's responsible for bringing in your new puppy. She wants you to know how happy she is for you and for your life. You did everything for her. She's talking about her paws in the end. I'm not sure if this means you did a print. There's something about her paws. Did you do a print? She's doing this with her paws, but she's also very female. She's showing me her nails. So I know that nails were a big thing with her. She's also talking about not scratching. It's more like a massage. You must have massaged her this area because she's kind of buffed, and she's doing this right here. She's like this, but she says to tell you there's no pain here. I'm happy. I don't want you to worry. And she doesn't want you to be sad. What does the name Sally? What does this mean? Sally around her? Sally with an S. Susan, Sally.
Sue.
Sue.
Yeah.
Is it who? Is that her name?
No, her name is Marbles.
Did Sue take care of her or something?
No, she was just somebody would come and visit now and then, and she would sit right next to her and just look at her lovingly.
Okay, well, you've got to give her some love for her, because that seems really important for her. But she's just excited about your life. And she brings in with her, and this is interesting because now I have 3 people, but I want to ask you about a horse, because somebody comes in with a horse. Were you raised on a farm with a horse? Did your dad have a horse? Did your grandparents have a horse? Somebody had a horse here.
Yes, my grandfather used to race thoroughbreds.
It's him. I've got chills. It's him, because he comes in with your grandmother. And I don't know why I'm going to go here, but she's talking about mohair. It's an odd feeling. Mohair. Did she knit mohair sweaters? Or mohair. Mohair seems to be arts and crafts, but mohair in particular.
She would crochet, and it's actually his daughter.
So
this is my great grandfather, and this is his daughter that would knit all the time.
Okay.
And she's my grandmother.
And she's your grandmother. They both come in. They both come in. And it's like, keep up the family traditions here with this. This seems real important, especially to the grandmother. It's important to him too. So it's just keep up the family traditions. And now I'm going to go to one last person that comes through, and he's just wouldn't leave me alone until I do. And I have a man here named Mike, who is dead husband, ex-husband. Who is this?
So Mike is actually, we were not married. He is my oldest daughter's father.
Okay. He's sorry.
Do you know how he passed away, by the way?
He
completed suicide?
Yeah, completed suicide.
That's why he's sorry then. He's very sorry here.
And he's here to teach people.
He really, and he waited, this was somebody who wanted to jump in, and I kind of slowed down the process here. That's how I work with this. So James, if you want to.
Yeah, I'd love to, if you don't. Yes.
Go ahead.
I get
the doors are open.
Doors are open. So Mike's mind worked very fast. Mike wouldn't slow down. Mike was like ADHD kid. He was go, 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 go. The next exciting thing, race, race, race. I got to go to the next fastest thing. Understand that? I don't know if he had tattoos or a tattoo, because I like tattoos with this man. I like his haircut differently. I like to do things different. I like to fit in. I'm not conformed. I do many different things. And I think he even had a ring of some weird kind of something. I don't know, it was a motorcycle group he was in one time, or some weird ring you know about. And he would like to do funny things like, let's go off and get married. Let's do this. Like crazy things he would say to you, But he said to me, I couldn't be serious when I needed to be. That's what he's telling me. I do think he had a brother in the lifetime. Are you aware of that? And I don't get this man feels as if he was not close to his family. I feel that. I felt isolated. I didn't feel loved like I should have, or then I got it now. He said, I got it now. And I do feel at one point there might have been a temper with him. Okay. Yeah. That he couldn't control, because ADHD, temper, go, 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 is angry, comes in angry at the world in some way, and his dad, especially. There was a bad relationship with his father. I know he's healing with the father. I know that Mike is now working with construction in that. He creates things with his ideas in his head, constructs things with his ideas in his head, and materializes. And he finds that really cool. He goes, that really incredible. And he's finding himself, and he's really sorry, as Kellee said, for things he didn't fulfill down here, for you and for others, by the way. And he's telling people to forgive those who leave that way. And sometimes it's part of their journey, which I agree. I like him. I do like him. A bit of a rebel sometimes, though. I also want to ask you, do you have an aunt that passed over? An aunt of yours, would you know of? Father's sister, would you?
Yes.
Because I just got her really strong on Kellee, and I know this lady wants to say hello to you. I don't know if she used to make pies or hang in the kitchen, but I want to say this. I think you knew more about her when you were a young girl than you're older. And I want to say that she's really, here. She's here. And I understand that. She's talking to me about someone going to the beauty parlor every Tuesday or Wednesday, that there was a certain date to get the hair done, sitting under the old dryer, this sort of thing. I got to say that to you. And I just got to tell you also, right, I think you're telling me that your father's not feeling well, and she's watching over him. Okay. And one more thing here. Did your little doggy also lie on your pillows on the bed, please? Because the dog, as Kellee was bringing the dog, I kept on seeing the dog want to tell me that his dog is with you on the pillows, and still on the pillows with you, and cuddles with you still. Okay. Cuddles with you still. And you still have its collar, And I know that you do. I know you're worried about getting the dog, but this dog is because they brought in this dog. But you were worried about getting the dog because of offending this dog. And even the dog bowl, don't worry about it. I mean, you're holding dog bowl it's fine. It's so fine. Yes, you do it to yourself. They don't do it. They're not upset. We upset ourselves. One more thing, Kel. Jack. Do you know Jack at all? Jackson, or Jack? And is there anything to do with a cuckoo clock?
Oh, yes.
The cuckoo clock is a big deal. Would that be the grandfather of the cuckoo clock? And would he have made him or looked at him or collected him? Because he keeps it. When I said tick, tick, tick before in the meditation, it was him, I think, giving me that. Because he's all about time, getting the time right. It's got to be precise. And I think he wants things a certain way in a certain space.
Yeah, that would be my other grandfather.
The other grandfather. Yep. Okay, that's fine.
They had a cuckoo clock in their house.
Okay, and you must have known that as a kid. You used to look at that cuckoo clock. You used to love that cuckoo clock. Yep. And you used to sit there and watch maybe the top of the hour to come out.
Yep.
She just showed me.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And I want to say this too with Mike. He is going to help your daughter, his daughter. He's going to help her. And he doesn't want for you to suffer anymore with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
He's very serious. What does this mean? Jewel or Julie or Jewel or Julie? Jewel.
From him?
From him. Does Jewel mean anything here?
Jules or Jewel?
I'm not sure.
Or Judy?
I'm wondering, did somebody smoke with that? With the Jewel? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that rings a bell. So
okay.
The interesting part to this is Mike had several children.
Okay.
One of which, my daughter, who when we moved to Washington, actually found out she had a half-sister living in the same town. And her name is Brittany.
Wow.
And she smokes a Jewel.
Okay, that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. You got to get her to stop. It's because of him, because he had either addictions or he's got something, and he's going to help them all then. Okay, I've got chills on this one. It seems very important that you give her that message from the dad not to smoke. Yeah, James, I had never heard of that Jewel before, but
he was a Marine and had tattoos.
I'm sorry, Kelly.
No, I was going to say I never had heard the term Jewel, but then I was like, wait a minute. Then he showed me a cigarette, and that's how I got it. Yeah. Yeah, that's how that. So this is how we work.
I want to say something to you, Michelle. You got to forgive him. You got to forgive him.
Well, James, would that be a thing for everybody about forgiving?
Yes, but also right here.
Yeah.
I have to say definitely right here, but for everybody that's watching us, listening to this, forgiveness is the number one medicine we can give ourselves. Totally. If you don't forgive somebody, you get dense and you corrode yourself. It's like a corrosion. It's like a cancer. Yeah. You don't want to do that. That's not your natural being. Your natural being is love. And you have to take that high road. Get out of that human way of like, oh, they did that to me. They did this to me. We got to go to the higher road.
Right.
That's how we progress. So please, I think Mike has come here tonight to ask for forgiveness.
He can have it.
And his daughter as well. Would you please pass the message on to her that she needs to forgive him? And she should write a letter to him and just put it in an envelope or anything, and then she can put it away for 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks later, get a piece of paper and it's a letter from him to her, and let her just channel it. All right? Everybody can do that. It's a good one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah.
Kelly, your mother's next to you, really strong. And she shows me a lion here. There's a lion. Leo's a lion, but there's a lion.
Okay, so yesterday I was watching. It was the day before I was watching the baseball game, and I looked up and there was a commercial for a lion, something. And I said to Don, "Look at that lion. Who does that remind you of?" My mom. And I could not believe you. I'm stunned. You just said.
And you have necklaces of hers, don't you?
I sure do.
She likes some gold necklaces.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
And you must have been looking at a necklace of hers, or several of them. Don't wait. And she's very precise. I love your mom. And she's very proud of you. She says, there's a lot more to do, James. You tell her that. There's a lot more to do, James. I'm still working my rear end off up here still. counseling people, looking into people's inner selves, she said. Oh, I'm able to look into their inner selves here. That's very interesting. But she said there's either been a clasp that's broken in the necklace or something's not right on that and you want to get it repaired. Hold on. There's several pieces of jewelry that need to be repaired. And you're putting them over here, the good ones over here, and you separated them. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. As a matter of fact, I was going to go back to the jewelry store because I like magnets on my jewelry. And I was actually looking at her stuff today, James, because I wanted to bring her stuff because I'm going to be speaking at the All Souls weekend this weekend, and I wanted to have it repaired before I went.
She's right. She roars like the lion. She's laughing. She roars like the lion. And she said, she doesn't want to embarrass her or anything, but she said, take care of Carol. Take care of her. To help her. She doesn't know what she doesn't know what she does.
Agree. Yeah, Mom, got that.
Yeah, okay. And there's someone that she didn't have diabetes, did she?
No.
There's someone with diabetes. I really have a feeling it's someone here. I feel it's a male. She gives me a sense that it's a male. I think Don's fine, but just be aware that a male. I'm not sure it's your brother, but male is beginning to get diabetes, beginning the signs of that she's trying to help that out. So
thank you. We'll keep up with that.
And there's some people around your farm you can't trust, she said. So there are people that are working there, and she doesn't like some of those workers or people that are going to property because watch out that no one's stealing something, please. She says to me, and you got to make sure, that someone's not stealing because you can't trust all of them. She said there were 3 different crews there sometimes. There's not a cruise, and she said someone's not right. So anyway, it's not a Jack with you in that crew or where people work in Jack.
No, I don't have that name, but we'll keep an eye out.
Watch out. And there must be new piping being put in right now.
There's a bunch of stuff. Bunch of stuff. Yes.
She loves the idea. She's been helping you with that, But she's very leery of people, People that come into your space. She's very, very leery. Hey, Kelly, if things happen that don't go well, that go awry in building the house, like a sewer leak or the window or something, it's kind of a sign to you that someone, you got to look around and see who's not being right, who's not being honest. Okay, just be aware of that.
Thank you. We will. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. I always love that I know she's always there. As you said earlier, it's true, James. We're never alone. We're never alone. It's actually not possible to be alone.
It's quite the opposite. They're more with us now than ever before.
Right? Don't you feel that too?
100%. I know that.
It's so true, especially, these upcoming times. It really, we have so many angels that are just pouring onto the earth right now for all of us.
So everybody, you should really either keep a journal or talk to them in your head every day, and they'll hear you. And I say keep a journal because you can write down what they say to you. You might forget, but definitely the dreams will be much more vivid. Keep a dream journal.
Yes.
But it really will help if you speak to them and acknowledge them because they're there sending thoughts to you, and you'll get these thoughts. And, please do it. They're waiting for it, especially this time of year. Oh, my gosh. So, Kelly, what do you have coming up?
Well, let's see. I have a show on Thursday night that Ask Me Anything. So that's going to be this Thursday. I will be talking about astrology and all kinds of things. We'll go into the veil, and we'll talk about the astrology of November. Also, I have a class on angels coming up with Janelle Campbell, which we're really excited about. Okay. It's on December 6th, and Janelle is a wonderful channel, and she's going to be channeling the archangels. And she's
great transmedium.
Yep. Wonderful transmedium, and I'm going to be talking about the different types of angels. It's just a wonderful, if people don't know anything about angels, it's a great class. And if you happen to love angels, please join us on December 6th, and you can sign up on right here, or you can go to my website. It's just going to be terrific. And James, what do you have coming up?
I'm just introducing my tarot card course.
How is that going?
Michelle was helping me do some videos earlier, which is really, we did some spreads, right? Yeah. And really fascinating. Tomorrow we have a webinar. So please come to the webinar tomorrow. It's all on my website. JP School of Mystical Arts. You can go to sign up for that. It's really good. We mix intuition and tarot, and it's a very different type of tarot than you guys are used to. And when I work with Liz, I see different symbols, what they mean, and she interprets them in the tarot way. I interpret it intuitively, and we come up with the same answer, but different. Isn't it weird?
Yeah, it was a really expansive answer.
Answer. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Well, that's my tarot card. So come, and the mediumship one, of course, is on, and I'm going to get mediumship 2 going. So it's good. There's a lot going on. Go to the school. A lot's happening.
Yay. Okay. This is wonderful.
Thank you, everybody. Go pierce the veil. Listen to your loved ones. And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. And go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers. What's the count right now? Is it
I don't know because I'm in a show with you. But so far it's Dodgers 2-0.
Okay.
Against the Yankees.
Yeah. I was literally in New Jersey sitting at I'd say it would be a pub, but they served steak, and I had a steak and a baked potato, having a beer, watching the game.
Oh my!
That sounds like me, doesn't it? Yeah.
Totally. It sounds like you. Oh my gosh!
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, James. Thanks, Michelle. I'm so glad you joined us tonight.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks, Renee. Bye.